Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about mole concepts and concentration. Alright, so very quickly, I'm going to give you a list of formulas that will help you to be able to solve diverse questions under mole concepts. I'm going to list out, or I'm going to write out formulas that will help you to solve different questions, different JAMB questions under mole concept and concentration. All right, so the first formula that you have under mole concept is this. So you have formulas for mole. You have number one, that mole equal to mass over molar mass. This is the first formula that you need to be able to solve questions under mole concept. All right, so you need to take note of this formula, because when we are going to solve different past questions, you will definitely need this formula. So please do well to take note of this particular formula. All right, so the second formula under mole concept is mole equal to number of molecule over 6.02 times 10 raised to 23. Now this is the second formula that you actually need to be able to solve problem under mole concept. And like I said earlier, you have to take note of these formulas, because when we are going to get to a point to solve different questions under mole concepts, you'll be able to figure out which formula to use for each of the questions as you come across them, right? So just make sure you take notes as I'm writing. Make sure you jot down these formulas. Make sure you take note of all these formulas that I'm giving out, because they are very much important for you to be able to skate through any question that comes under mole concept and concentration. All right, let's move on, guys. So the third formula that you need to be able to solve any question that comes under mole concept is this. Mole equal to volume of substance over 22.4 dm cube. Now I want you to note this. This substance can either be atom, or it can either be molecules. All right, so this is just the general name given to, is either going to be atom or molecule. So mole is equal to volume of substance over 22.4 dm cube. All right, so now let's move on to some of the formulas for concentration. So these are some of the formulas that will help you in solving questions that might come under concentration, under mole concepts. All right, so you have these formulas for concentration. We have formulas for concentration. I'm going to continue from number 3, so I'm not going to write one again. I'm going to continue from number 4. All right, so we have the first formula is molarity equal to mole over volume, and this volume is going to be in dm cube. All right, it's going to be in dm cube. Take note that concentration is in mole per dm cube. So if you're writing concentration, it's going to be mole per dm cube. That is why we are having mole over dm cube here, right? So molarity is equal to mole over volume in bracket dm cube. Now this formula will help you to solve different questions that will come under concentration when we are solving our past questions. All right, as we move on, we are going to come across diverse questions that you make use of this very particular formula. Diverse questions that will require you to you make use of this particular formula. All right, so the number 5, molarity, is concentration. Now this is concentration, so if you want to write in full you can do that, but this is concentration. The number 5 is molarity, equal to concentration in gram per dm cube over molar mass. You can either use mm as your molar mass if you don't want to write it out like this, and you can use this big M as your molarity if you don't want to write in full. All right, so the next formula is number 6, which is mass equal to molarity times volume times molar mass. All right, this is the next formula that will help you to solve different questions under mole concept and concentration. This formula is also very important for you to take note of, so do wait to jot it down. I believe that you're with your pen and your notebook as you're watching this video, so make sure you jot this particular formula down also. Then the number 7 formula is this: Ca Va over Cb Vb equal to Na over Nb. Now this formula is somehow different from the others. All right, so also take this one down because you definitely understand this particular formula when we come across questions that requires us to use this formula to solve them. All right, so take it down, and then we'll move over to the last formula, which is number 8, C1 V1 equal to C2 V2. So these are all the formulas that is needed for you to know to be able to solve any question that will come under mole concepts and concentration. All right, so right about now we are going to move on to the real world example, where we will solve questions that need us to use these formulas, a list of formulas that have been given to you now, to answer the questions, answer JAMB previous past questions. All right, so as we move on, I want you to pay close attention. I want you to pay close attention to the solvings and all that you are going to do in this video. And by the time we are done with this particular video, you must have been able to get all this formula into your memory and then know how to apply them when it comes to solving questions in your JAMB examination. All right, so let's move on. All right, so now we'll have one question that is being given to us here, so that we can be able to apply the formulas that was given to us earlier, so that we can understand each of these formulas very well. All right, so look at the question we have on the paper here. Question 1 says, what is the mass of 4 moles of sodium chloride? Now in brackets, you're being given the mass of sodium, you're given the mass of chlorine. Then in the option, you have option A is 58.5 gram, option B is 117.0 gram, option C is 234.0 gram, and option D is 376.0 gram. Now remember, the question says, what is the mass of 4 moles of sodium chloride? Now, so the first thing we are going to do is to write solution. Now, for us to know the formula to use and solve this question, for us to know the particular formula from the list of formula given to us, for us to know that particular formula that will be able to solve this question, all we need to do is to list out all that is given to us. Okay, so the first thing you need to write is mass. Mass is what? We don't know mass because the question is, what is the mass? So we don't have mass. Now, what is a mole? we have 4. You can see it here that we have 4. So the mole is 4. Then what is our molar mass? Our molar mass is going to be the mass of sodium plus the mass of chlorine. So molar mass is going to be the mass of sodium plus the mass of what? Chlorine. That will give us a molar mass. And by writing that, we'll have mass of sodium to be 23. Look at it here. This is sodium. The mass of sodium is 23. And that of chlorine is 35.5. So mass of sodium plus mass of chlorine is 23 plus 35.5, which is equal to 58.5. So now we'll have our molar mass to be 58.5 gram per mole. We have our moles to be 4 mole, all right? So we are actually looking for mass. That is what we are looking for. So from these values that we have here, which of the formula do you think will be suitable for us to solve this particular question? From this value that we have here, now the formula that will be suitable for us, or that is best for us to solve this particular question, is the first formula which I gave to you, which is mole equal to mass over what? Over molar mass. This is the formula that is suitable to solve this particular question. But then, mind you, we are asked to look for mass. So how do you get your mass to be a subject formula in this formula? I take that again. We are asked to look for mass. But in this formula, what we have here is mole equal to mass over molar mass, right? So to make this mass the subject of the formula, all you need to do is to cross multiply. And if you do that, you're going to have your mass to be mole times molar mass, right? Now, this is the formula that will give us the answer we are looking for. Mass equal to mole times molar mass. Let me take you back again to the question. The question is, what is the mass of 4 moles of sodium chloride? Right? So now we have our mass is equal to moles times molar mass. And if you look at these values here, we have moles to be 4 and we have molar mass to be 58.5 gram per mole. All right, so let's write that out so that we can be able to get the exact answer that is needed for us in this particular question. So our mole is 4 mole times molar mass is what? 58.5 gram per mole. All right, is that clear? So now what are you going to do at this point is to cancel out your mole, because what we are actually looking for is mass, and the unit of mass is gram. All right, so our mass now is equal to what? Now 4 times 58.5 will give us what? 4 times 58.5 will give us what? You can actually get your calculator to solve this. All right, so let me use my own. 4 times 58.5 is going to give us 234. All right, 4 times 58.5 is going to give us 234. All right, so we have our mass to be 234 gram. So let's look at the option now that we have our answer to be 234 gram. Now the options are A, 58.5 gram, B, 117.0 gram, C is 234.0 gram, D is 376.0 grams. So which option do you think is the right option from the answer that we've gotten from this, that our mass is 234 grams? The correct option here is option C. Okay, now this is our correct option, so the answer is C. The answer for this particular question is C. All right, So let's move on to the next question to be able to understand this particular concept more deeper. Alright, so now we have a question 2 on this paper. The question says, how many moles are there in 40 grams of sodium carbonate? How many moles are there in 40 grams of sodium carbonate? In brackets, we have sodium, the mass of sodium to be 23, the mass of carbon to be 12, and the mass of oxygen to be 16. All right. Now, if you observe closely, you're going to see some numbers quite different from the number 1 that we solved. Sodium has 2. So, this 2 is going to change the value of 23 to what? We are going to know as we move on. This 3 is also going to change the value of 16 to something. We are also going to know as we move on, all right? So look at the options. Option A is 0.83 mole. Option B is 0.38 mole. Option C is 5.26 mole. And option D is 2.65 mole. So, solution. All right, so the same thing we did in our question 1, we are also going to apply the formula here, all right? Looking at all the values that is given to us, we can see that the formula that we can use to solve this particular question is still the same formula we used in question 1, which is mole equal to mass over molar mass. This is the formula that we are going to use to solve this question 2 also. But before we go ahead to solve the question, there are several things that we need to look for to be able to solve this question. You can see that mass is given to us in the question to be 40 grams. You can also see that the molar mass is given to us, but it's not written out because we actually need to get the molar mass from sodium carbonate. That is where we're going to get our molar mass from, all right? So the question is how many moles? We are asked to look for the moles. We are asked to look for mole, all right? So for us to get our mole, we need to get the molar mass. And if we can be able to get the molar mass, then we can get our mole as fast as possible. Easy peasy, all right? So let's move on. How can we be able to get our molar mass? To get your molar mass, if you check in the question, you see that sodium is 23. Now, this 23 is the mass of sodium. You see that carbon is 12. This 12 is the mass of carbon. You see that oxygen is 16. 16 is the mass for oxygen, all right? So to get our molar mass, we can simply say that sodium, you can see is 23, right? So, sorry, you can say 23 times 2, all right? Why is it times 2? It is times 2 because of this number that is here. So, 23 times 2 plus 12 times 1. Why is carbon 1? It's only one atom of carbon that is here, all right? So 12 times 1 plus 16 times 3. Now, why is oxygen 16? It is because of these 3. We have 3 atoms of oxygen that is here. So we have 23 times 2 plus 12 times 1 plus 16 times 3. All right? So molar mass is equal to what? Now you're going to calculate all these numbers and you add them together. That will give us our molar mass so that we can be able to get our mole, all right? 23 times 2 plus 12 times 1 plus 16 times 3 will give you what? You can use your calculator so that you can follow along as we are doing this, all right? So we have 23 times 2 plus 12 times 1 plus 16 times 3. that will give us 106. All right, that will give us 106. So molar mass is gram per mole. That's the unit. So now we'll have a molar mass to be 106. All right, so we can go ahead to solve this question now, because we have our mass to be 40 gram, we have our molar mass to be 106 gram per mole. So the solution now is very easy. All right, so we write out our mole. Our mole is equal to mass. What is the value for mass? Mass is 40 gram. Mass is 40 gram, right? Now over molar mass. What is the value for our molar mass? Our molar mass is 160 gram per mole, right? 40 over 106 will give you what? 40 over 106 will give you what? Now 40 divided by 106 is going to give you 0.377. All right, it's going to give you 0.377. So this will cancel out this. The grams will cancel out gram because we are looking for mole. All right, so we'll have our mole to be 0.377 mole. Right, so approximately we are going to have 0.38 mole. So this becomes our answer. 0.38 mole becomes our answer for this particular question. All right, therefore our mole is 0.38. all right, so looking at the option A is 0.83 mole, which is wrong. Option B is 0.38 mole, which is our correct option for this particular question. All right, so option B is the right option for this question. All right, guys, so in our next video we are going to be solving up to 10 questions on mole concept and concentration, and I don't want you to miss out of that video. I don't want you to miss that video. Don't miss that video for anything. So for you not to miss that video, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, all you need to do is to click on the subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell icon to all. That means that whenever we post a new content, YouTube is going to send you a notification so that you can take action and be among the first set of students that will watch the video. And when you watch the video, believe me, you are going to learn a lot from our video. So from this video today, you can see how much you've learned from today's video. So do well to subscribe, like the video, and make sure you share it with your friends. All right, so I will see you in our next video, where we are going to solve 10 or more than 10 questions under mole concept and concentration. This video is going to help you a lot in any question that comes under mole concept and concentration. So do well to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in that video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.